Did you have any recollection of your time with David Culley when he was there that first year?
Oh yeah. Coach Culley, he's other than being a great coach, he's a great man. Being able just to talk through things, slow the game down. He's been around this league for such a long time. He's been around some really great players. So extremely knowledgeable. Glad we get to spend the time that we did. I don't know, obviously in Baltimore, and he waited this long to get his chance in Houston. So I'm happy for him, and it'll be fun playing against his team, and good to see him after the game.
How much influence did he have on you, like early in your career?
I mean, quite a bit. I mean, as a rookie coming in, just trying to be all eyes and ears and listening to, what the coaching staff is talking about and trying to teach us. And, when we brought Derek Anderson and Matt Barkley in, I think that's what really kind of changed the room around. But to have, like I said, have someone like Culley that had such great knowledge and's been around the game for so long, and to listen to what he had to say, extremely helpful.
David wanted to extend a message through us to you. Maybe you could go back to your early consistencies just for one more week, if you could.
I don't plan on it. Yeah.
You can relay that message, I guess.
No, yeah. I get that. Yeah, he's awesome. I remember just obviously like the talks we had, just being extremely light and loose, and he enjoys this game so much. And like I said, he waited so long for his chance. I'm happy that he got it, and hoping that he thrives and except against us. We got to go out there, put our best effort against a really good team that they got. And I know all the preconceived notions that they had coming in this season, all the off-season stuff that they dealt with. And they come out and they are a team. I'll tell you what, they play extremely hard. They got some really good players, really talented players on defense. They do a really good job of taking the ball away. So again, whatever people want to say, it's a week-to-week league, and this is a team that is going to win a lot of games, and we got to be extremely prepared for them and put our best foot forward and prepare a game plan and go out there and execute it the best that we can.
Josh, experience teaches you that, right? And you've talked about how consistent you try to be in terms of your approach to each game. But what is having a performance like this past Sunday, kind of under your belt this year, do for you in terms of your preparation, confidence? Whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just gets the ball rolling. But again, there are still a lot of things that we can learn from this tape that we just watched, and apply it to hopefully this next week and weeks to come. But just getting into that rhythm, having the confidence, seeing some guys do some different things. But again, like I said, it's a week-to-week league, and you got to switch up what you're doing every week. They're going to be game planning. They get paid on that side of the ball too. So this game plan that we're putting together, it's got to be good. And at the end of the day, we got to go out and execute and make the right calls. Myself, put the ball where it needs to be and give our guys a chance to catch the ball and run. This is a bend, don't break defense. And like I said, they do a great job of taking the ball away. So we got to make a huge emphasis on that this week. The scout team's going to do a really good job for us, and in terms of trying to get the ball out. So we're preparing for it.
Josh, Brian Daboll this week said that it feels like a decade ago that playoff loss down in Houston. You were really honest about. You basically said after that game you weren't going to be over it until I think you had the chance to play again. Does it feel that long ago to you? And when you reflect back on that time and sort of maybe what you took away from that loss and how it maybe drove you that off season, what do you think back to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously no one likes losing. No one likes losing in the playoffs, especially with the lead that we had going into that second half. Obviously, it wasn't a fun ride home, and it was a long off season. But just the knowledge and experience that I gained from that, things I took away from that game. I think most importantly, just doing whatever we can to get home games in the playoffs. And I think even looking back at this last season, having 2 playoff games at home and winning those games, and obviously going on the road into a hostile environment, it's no small task. So, but again, just as far as my game goes, focusing on things that I need to do better, and I still need to do better on some accounts. So each week's a better possibility for me to learn and grow. But that one, since it was so long in between games, it really drove me.
There have been kind of feels like milepost games in your career. I think to the New England game where you talked about how you got to take better care of the football, and you use that to sort of drive you going forward. Is that loss to Houston? Is that kind of a milepost game in your career that you took a lot from it?
I mean, I'm sure you can say that. Yeah, I think just the attention to detail I started putting into off-season work, mechanics, and like Coach says, being a student of the game and just loving and embracing the process that this game is all about. Because it's not an easy game. If it were easy, everybody would do it, and it's not easy to score. It's not easy to win in this league. So when you do that, you need to enjoy it and embrace it, but continue to find things to work on.
Josh, there's been so much talk about rhythm, finding rhythm with this offense the first 2 weeks. Seems like you have a rhythm. What is it that can get you into a rhythm? I know that may sound like an open-ended question, but is there a time when you feel like, I got it? Like something clicks early on in the game when you walk into the stadium? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, I think just as I've kind of grown, just feeling and understanding my body, how it's feeling, how to make sure that I'm feeling my best and feeling like I'm the peak athlete going into that game. I think it has a good warm-up that goes into it, and then ultimately kind of the first couple drives of the game, just finding completions early on, moving the ball, doing what we need to do. And Coach McDermott talks a lot about, making us an offense being two-dimensional and making the other team one-dimensional. So that's obviously getting off to a fast start and making sure that, we're not just passing every down, and they know we're passing every down. We need to be able to switch it up and be as balanced as possible. So I think getting off to a fast start really helps with that.
It was relatively windy Sunday. Did you find it challenging? Was it a challenging day to throw in the wind, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little windy, but like I said, when our guys get open and make the plays that we do, it's pretty easy to throw to those guys.
Do you bother? Do you check the weather when you get up Sunday morning, or how much do you concern yourself with how windy it is?
No, I usually check it because I've learned so far, 7 days in advance in Buffalo, it absolutely means nothing what the radar says. So usually probably Thursday night, Friday morning was when I check, and there's really nothing to adjust other than if it's windy, just driving it a little more. If it's wet, making sure we're doing wet ball drill. I know Coach loves pouring water on the football and making it a terrible day for me, but it's definitely needed and it's warranted, and appreciate him for doing that.
You're a big favorite, and Kansas City's on deck. Do you believe in trap games, or is that something that we made up in the media and fans made up?
Yeah, I didn't know we were playing them next, to be honest. Our focus is on the Houston Texans, and that's our only goal in sight right now.
Josh, when it comes to the work that Emmanuel Sanders has put in on the field, off the field, in his short time here, how important was it for you guys to be rewarded in building that, establishing that rapport that you did this past weekend?
I think when you constantly do the right things, you're constantly in the right spot, you're a great person off the field, that you get opportunities like that, and more often than not, you're going to make them. It's just a guy that, consistently does his job, and that's football for you. You do the right thing, it's going to get noticed one way or another. And I'm glad that we got that going, but again, that wasn't a fluke game. That wasn't a lucky or by chance. This guy just does the right things. And he's awesome to play with, and he's such a good presence in our locker room. I'm thankful that we have him.
When you say the right things, what is it, and what would you? What are the right things, and what was not there? Maybe the first two games that were just kind of off between you two.
I don't know if anything was off really, but again, just going back to the Miami game, that second play, him blocking downfield and springing motor, the next possession, making an adjustment on a ball and throwing his hand up and making a big play for us and allowing us to score again on that possession. He's not afraid to go and do his job and dig out a safety or get downfield and block for his other receivers, and he's not afraid to clear out on a seam ball and let the dig behind him come in, and he just wants to win and help this team win football games at any cost.
Josh, I know you're not big on talking about individual honors and that sort of thing, or haven't been. But what does AFC Offensive Player of the Week mean? What does it affirm about you or about the team, if anything?
Means we won the game and we're playing good football. It's really what it all comes down to. Guys making plays, and it takes, all 11, if not 22, or however you look at it, 33 guys on special teams as well. So that's about it.
You talk a lot about being hard on yourself and pointing out the bad throws and that kind of thing. When you have a performance like you did Sunday and things go well overall, do you kind of take a moment to also acknowledge the good things, the things that went well, or?
Yeah, I mean, so far I've learned a lot of things, but never being too high, never being too low. And again, the film is never as good, never as bad as it seems on game day. Still a lot to learn from, and we need to understand that. We're only, 3 weeks into this season. We got a lot of football left, so one win, one loss, whatever it may be, doesn't define us. We got to keep stacking weeks and trying to be the best versions of ourselves.
Is there any validation in knowing that you said for 2 weeks that you just have to kind of take what defenses give you, and then when you ultimately do that, it leads to such a successful day for the offense?
Yeah, and it just kind of, again, shows me making the right decisions, doing the right things is going to ultimately lead to team success. So gotta find ways to keep doing that and not getting bored with some of the underneath stuff, and just trusting our guys and as we saw on Sunday, getting the balls into our playmakers' hands, usually good things happen.
You guys are 17-point favorites this weekend. You guys may not even understand that, but back in 2018, you were 16.5-point underdogs and went in and beat Minnesota. You guys cared all about the lines, or do you understand the fact that anything can happen and that you've been in that underdog spot where you can play free?
No, it's a week-to-week league. We understand that. It doesn't matter who we're playing. Doesn't matter how many points we get, how many points we give. On paper, that's nice and dandy, but when you're out there throwing the ball in conditions and hitting and guys are pumped up and juices are flowing, anything can happen any given Sunday. But like I said, we need to go execute a game plan. Thank you.